We are here at the Art Museum at Newfields, where we're going to get to experience some amazing original artworks. Come follow me. So Tasha, tell us a little bit more about what you do here at the museum.
Absolutely. So my name is Tasha Horowitz. I'm the Director of Content and Interpretive Engagement. So we have not only the largest, but we also have the original.
Yes. Wow.
Yes, and it is such a treasure in our collection. We're actually just this fall celebrating the 50th anniversary of it coming into our collection. It was acquired in 1975. It was built in 1970. Spent the first few years of its life traveling around, spent some time in New York, in Boston, here, downtown Indianapolis.
Oh, really?
And then formally came into the collection in 1975.
Even though pop art peaked in the 1950s, it continued on until the late 1970s.
So we are standing here in Pulliam Great Hall, which is its now and hopefully permanent home.
Yeah.
Though it spent about the first 50 years of its life outdoors.
Oh, no kidding.
But it is one of the most reproduced pieces of contemporary art. There are about 50 versions worldwide in multiple languages.
Wow.
So yeah, it's such a treasure to have in our collection.
Yeah, well, and I'm glad that we're standing by it because the biggest thing, obviously, is literally the scale.
Yes,
it's so huge.
It is massive.
Why did he choose Indiana and, you know, obviously Newfields and the IMA here to house this massive sculpture?
Yeah, so Robert Indiana, or Robert Clark, as he was born, was born in Newcastle, Indiana, I believe in 1928, and he spent his childhood living in a variety of locations around Indiana. Most of his adolescence was spent in Indianapolis. So even though once he was working as an artist, he was mostly in New York and Maine, he had this, you know, long connection to the Midwest and to Indiana specifically. So when he went to choose his name, he chose Indiana as his last name, which I think really indicates his deep connection to this state.
Tasha, we have to know, everyone's going to wonder, due to the scale, what is this sucker made of?
Sure.
And how much does it weigh?
Yes, that's a great question.
Where's some
So
fun
this
facts?
is made of corten steel.
Okay.
It is 12 feet high, it's giant, and it weighs 4.6 tons. Thereabouts.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it is tremendously heavy. So one of the things that we had to tackle when we were looking to bring it inside is where can it live safely. So we did have to do quite a bit of work to reinforce the floor, to make this space stable for it.
And I guess I didn't even think about it. Like when you see pictures of it online, you assume it's all one piece, but it's not, right? It's
No, it is
separate.
not. It is multiple pieces. So when we moved it, we lifted letters individually. And when you get up and close, you can really, you can see the seams and you can see how the pieces are separate. These two here are connected, and then these two are individual pieces. So it's 3 pieces total.
I was wondering, I think he was here, right, when they originally installed it?
Oh, yes, we have great photography of him at the inaugural ceremony. It was actually when we built the new museum, in 1970. So we have great photography, not only of him actually working with the foundry that built this, but then also at the podium giving a speech, unveiling this sculpture.
No, that's awesome. Well, it's good, like you said, his roots were here, and even though he did, spend most of his, artistic life on the East Coast, he still, I think, was just so rooted to his history here, which is really cool.
And so much of his inspiration, he talks about, the Indiana blue sky, the great signage that we have along our freeways that he saw as a child, and how that really influenced his style and his connection to kind of the visuals and graphics of pop art.
Tasha, we had to, since we're obviously here talking about Robert Indiana, I know you guys have these beautiful, like very colorful, in contrast to the left sculpture. These numbers, and these are also Robert Indiana, right?
They are. We're out here on our sculpture court, and this is the number series, which is another really important part of our collection, another group of artworks by Robert Indiana. They were actually manufactured at the same foundry as the love sculpture, though about 10 years later, and they're made of very different material. But they are another great example of some of the classic elements of pop art, the bright, rich colors. They're inspired by the topography that was very popular in advertising at the time.
Yeah, sure.
So it really kind of connects to those elements of pop art.
No, I love it. I love that we're walking through it just because, again, One thing I love about, I mean, I have a bias for artists who work on big scale, and I love that, like, you know, much of pop art, I think a lot of people think of, like, you know, 2D or even just very simple topography and whatnot, but Robert obviously took it to a, you know, the 3-dimensional scale, which I think is really cool.
He loved to work in sculpture, so yeah, it does really make him a standout. And one of the other things I love is we've had these displayed, much like the Love Sculpture, in multiple locations throughout their lifetime at the museum, and often in very different numerical arrangements. Robert Indiana, to my knowledge, never shared the meaning behind the numbers, but I do know the different arrangements all connected to very personal things to him. So he was very intentional in the way he crafted these and the way he wanted them organized.
Yeah. A little superstitious, but that makes sense. I mean, I get it.
A little quirky. He was a little quirky, but he had very clear ideas of what he wanted represented in his work and how he wanted them shown. And I love these stamps you'll see on each of the numbers. You can see his name and the year that it was created.
Well, thanks, Tasha, for giving us like a little bit of history about it, and you know, just understanding him better, especially since he's from where we're at right now. Just really kind of better, you know, understand the sculpture itself, and then, you know, his connection with pop art, which was obviously like hugely instrumental.
Hugely, and this piece was a big launching point of his work within pop art. This piece really helped elevate his name and his presence in the art field.
Yeah, 100%.